All right, now we're going to look at the barbell back squat. To do the back squat, we're going to talk about setting up the bar properly first, then setting up to do the movement before descending into the squat. So, I want to make sure that the barbell is about in line with the crease in your armpit. That's usually about the height that I set the bar. That way it's not so low that I've got to squat real deep to get it out, but it's not so high that I've got to tiptoe it back into the racks. You've probably seen people where they've got to kind of tiptoe the bar in. A lot of times what happens is when you're just squatting the barbell by itself, it's not an issue. Like if I was about an inch or two higher, I could unrack it easily. But if I'm just clearing those hooks and I start loading up some weight on the bar and I put 135, 225, whatever, start getting heavier weight, that bar sinks down into my back a little bit. So now, instead of just being able to clear the hooks, I'm hitting the hooks on the way in, so I've got to tiptoe it in. That just makes it harder to rack. So I usually find that if the bar is set in line with the crease of your armpit, that's usually a good height. Not too low, not too high. Still easy to unrack, but more importantly, easy to rack. Now, to do the back squat, you want to get under the bar so that the bar is even on the upper back. The place that I like to carry the bar is a little bit lower, right where if I squeeze my shoulder blades together, where my shoulders and traps kind of make a shelf. That's where I like to carry it. It's not so low. You see some power squatters that carry the bar way back down on the back side of the delts, and then some of the Olympic style lifters, they carry the bar a lot higher so they can maintain a perfectly vertical torso when they squat, really deep. I like to do something a little bit in between that. So I'm not leaning super forward when I got the bar unracked, but I've got a lot of contact with the bar in my upper back. It works pretty well for me. I'd recommend experimenting a little with bar placement to see where it's comfortable and what works for you. But definitely, regardless of where you carry it, keep it away from the vertebrae that sticks out at the base of the neck. Always go below that. You don't want to risk damaging that bone. So, we're going to pick the bar up with the upper back. We're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together to create a shelf for the bar. Then we're going to pick the bar up. Then I'm going to take 2 steps. 1, 2. Then I'm going to shuffle my feet so that my feet are about shoulder width or slightly wider, and my toes are either pointed forward or slightly out. When they're pointed slightly out, the right foot is at a 1 o'clock position and the left foot is at an 11 o'clock position if we're looking at a clock face. Now, I'm going to start with the head. My head is up, looking forward. My chin's packed. I'm not looking up at the ceiling. I'm looking straight ahead with my chin packed. My shoulder blades are tight, squeezed together. My elbows are pulled underneath the barbell and not sticking out. They're pulled underneath the barbell. My back is slightly arched but still in a neutral position. My chest is up. My hips are extended. My knees are extended. And I'm ready to squat. I'm going to squat by taking a deep breath into my belly and holding it. And then sitting back, pushing out on the knees, and going down until my thighs are parallel or below parallel. Now I'm going to reverse the movement by driving the hips forward and driving the head and the chest back into the bar. When we come up out of the squat, you don't want to drive with the hips first. That may push you into a good morning position where you're bent over with the barbell on your back. You want to first drive your head and your traps into the bar as you extend the hips forward. That'll help get you into a better position, into a safer position, and squat more weight. Now, when you're doing the back squat, remember, you only want to squat as deep as you can go maintaining a neutral spine. If your hips start to tuck under, some people call it the butt wink, if your pelvis rolls under, then your spine is flexing under load, and that's not good. So you want to make sure that you only squat deep enough to maintain a neutral spine. So let's look at the repetition again really quick. I'm going to set up under the bar. Place the bar on the upper back above the shoulders. Unrack the bar, take 2 steps, 1, 2. Adjust my feet to a comfortable width with the toes forward or slightly out. The head's up, the chin's packed, shoulder blades are pulled back and tight. The elbows are pulled under the bar. The spine is neutral with even a slight arch, but still in a neutral position. Hips are extended, knees are extended. Take a deep breath into the belly and hold it. Sit down and back. Push the knees out, hips go back. Down as deep as you can go while maintaining a neutral spine. And then drive up by throwing the head and the traps into the bar while pushing the hips forward. Rack the bar by walking into the up and then squatting down. And that's how to do the back squat with a barbell.